Welcome everybody. We have with us our February Student of the Month, Ian Candy. Ian Candy, where are we right now?
We are in the guys' dressing room by the PAC.
I would imagine with all of the activities and performances you've been in, you've spent a lot of time in this place.
Oh yeah, a lot of countless hours getting ready.
Is it kind of like a newsroom situation, like work in the news where you do your own makeup for the shows, or does someone else do that with you? Talk about that.
Right, so we typically do our own stuff. For a few of the shows this year, I've completely costumed myself. I don't know why I've had some of this stuff in my closet, but you know, it's there.
Gotcha. Is that like a skill that has to be learned, or is it like, no, I've got it? Like, how has that progressed from your earlier in your high school career?
Learning makeup was definitely a big struggle, but I've gotten better at it. But I did have people do it for me earlier on.
Okay. What does that just look like? That I'm not an actor. I don't need to be on stage. No one wants me on stage. You got the face for radio. So what does that look like? Kind of transforming yourself into another person. Is that like an outlet for you? Is it exciting to try different things and be a different person? Kind of talk about that experience.
Yeah, I got involved with performing and like theater-ish stuff. When I was really young, my mom forced me to do a bunch of camps and whatever, and it just stuck. But it's been a really good way to express myself through other people. In speech and debate, I often find myself like telling stories and fighting for causes that I feel passionate about. And like theater, I'll be Cat in the Hat in the upcoming musical, which is a complete switch from advocacy, but sometimes it's just fun to kind of like let off some creative steam.
Sure. I would imagine that. So you mentioned letting out steam. You were involved in so much. So many different clubs, so many different activities. You're a high-performing student. Kind of talk about that. It's great to have a way to, express yourself, but talk about what that's taken to be performing at a high level on stage in the classroom. What has that been like?
Right. So people often ask how I do it, and my answer I usually go to is my Google Calendar saves lives. But really, all it takes is just being dedicated to the things you care about. Like, everything I do, I care about. I wouldn't be doing if I didn't care about it. So caring about something makes it that much easier to spend that much more time on it.
Sure. When you came into high school, was that something that you wanted to do? Like, I want to, by my senior year, I want to be on this many activities, or did that come about organically? How was that from your first year here to now? How has that kind of evolved?
So my activities kind of started as like a continuation from middle school. Like I was already in theater, choir, band, all that stuff. But student council I started to get more involved in, and I never heard of Interp before. And I got very invested in that right off the bat in high school. So it's kind of a mix of organically. I didn't really have a plan going into it. I just kind of rode the wave.
Sure. Being a senior now, you see those freshmen coming in. If you could give them advice, be it on the stage or behind the scenes or in the classroom, what would you tell your freshman self that you know now that you've learned with that wisdom?
I would just say like, do whatever makes you happy. High school is only 4 years. You only get to do it once. So just make sure you have you make the most use of your time.
Sure. And you mentioned that Google Calendar.
Yeah.
I imagine that there are a lot of, so to that end, I would imagine your family then behind the scenes, very, very supportive. Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so my mom actually, one of my biggest fans in my life, she started pushing me she's always pushed me to do my best and to try a bunch of different stuff. As for Interp, she was a coach way back, and she was like, just try it. If you hate it, I'll let you quit. And that's been her philosophy with everything. I've tried everything from basketball, even though, that didn't go too hot, to student council, to Interp. But really having her as a cheerleader has been very supportive in my journey, yeah.
That's great. We're getting close to graduation, May 12th, coming up quick. What does that look like? We walk across the stage, then what? What's next for Ian?
So my plan right now is to go out to George Mason University in DC. I recently got accepted into their University Scholars Program, which is a full ride basically. And I got recruited onto their speech team. They're like second ranked in the nation, I think. So that'll be fun to be out in DC. and my plan is to double major in political science and neuroscience, which is an odd combo, but you know.
That goes. A lot of psychology and politics and things like that. What's that going to look like being in DC, being away from home? Are you excited about that? Nervous about that? It's all the things.
Right, a little bit of both, I guess. You know, I used to move around a lot as a kid, so I'm excited to get another like change, but I'm also nervous to move halfway across the country.
Sure, that's very reasonable and understanding. Throughout your K-12 journey, you've been involved in so much, so many different classes. If you could think back to like in your K-12 system, if there was a teacher or a coach or someone that you could say just thank you to, that was there for you, who would that be, and what would you say to them?
Yeah, so I have two answers actually. Earlier on, I mentioned I moved around a lot as a kid. In 4th grade, I just started a new school, and my teacher, Mrs. Tygeson, she really instilled like a love of reading in me, and that has helped me in various ways. So she was definitely a very influential teacher on me. And then recently in the high school, it'd have to be Mrs. Kane. She just had such an impact on my life, and I don't know where I would be without her.
That's crazy to think about. Different activities lead you down a different path, lead to
Right.
different opportunities.
Right.
It's amazing how that people, those relationships, that means something. On that note, you're going to graduate as a Brandon Valley Lynx. What does that mean to you?
I've really enjoyed the community of Brandon Valley. Like, this school has been so instrumental to me, especially moving here in 7th grade. I was just instantly like accepted as a Brandon Valley Lynx, and I hope to carry that with me through the rest of my life.
It's great. What is your favorite type of ice cream?
Okay, I am an employee at B&G Milky Way, and I would have to say the best ice cream you can get is the California Dreamy. So good. It's strawberry ice cream, our waffle cone batter, and then cookie dough.
Is that something that's like on the menu?
Yes,
Noted.
you gotta try it.
The listeners know that this is a first-hand experience.
Oh yeah.
Ian, okay, it's such an accomplished career. You're not done yet. Obviously, we have the spring musical coming up. But again, proud of you, proud of the impact you've made in our community, and look forward to watching you and your future success as we go forward. So again, congratulations on being the February Student of the Month. We wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you, Mr. Paul.
Thank you. All right, see you everybody.